Ready? There, as you see on the agenda, there really aren't any items of business other than the financial reports for the month of December and the minutes that are on there. I just wanted to give you all an update on the recent storms. Fortunately, as you know, we were very blessed not to have gotten hit by the ice storms and the extreme. We see our neighbors in Middle Tennessee have had numerous customers out and still out, I do believe. We had just minor problems on the electric side. The water did okay on the first round of storms that came through, but this weekend with the extreme cold, we have had a few problems with the water system. So, Kobe, you have any updates you want to give them as of?
We've had a few main breaks and several services, and had a line froze on Dan Bean Lane Bridge over the weekend. So, and we're struggling up the valley as far as keeping the tanks full, but everybody's home and they're running their faucets and trying to keep them freezing. So, but we're making it.
Yeah. Thanks to all the staff,
Yeah,
electric,
proud of
water,
my guys. They've put in a lot of hours over
Yeah.
the weekend.
Thanks to everyone being out there in the extreme weather. I really don't have anything in the workshop other if you all want to go over the financials now, then.
Let's do that. I'm gonna go ahead and add one item to the agenda. We got some personnel action that needs to be reviewed. I've been presented with some information from an employee that needs to be discussed at the workshop when you get to the financials.
This won't take a great deal of time, but just really quickly to show you the number of electric customers from last year to this year. Hasn't grown very much, but there is some growth from 23,355 to 23,686. And as you can see with the degree days, the normal was here and our actual heating days were lower. I'm going to show you on the next page. When you see a weather pattern like we had in the month of December, it adversely affects your revenue. Let me tell you what happens. This is the degree day that I get from TVA. And if you look on around December 14th and 15th, the lows were 13 and 16. Now what happens on those is it peaks for our system for the billing month, in that month. Well, that explains the high KW power purchases. Now, on the flip side to that, on the revenue side, is when you see all these temperatures, 68, 70, 73, the consumer, since we are mostly residential based with our customer base, then if it's warmer outside, obviously our heating units don't kick on, so there's not as much usage. So it is going to skew what the revenue is that comes in. We have to pay the TVA based on what the peak rate is, and being we just had a couple of days, then basically we're penalized for that. So that's going to show up just in a moment on the bottom line on the net income. So I wanted to draw that to your attention. Operating revenue, 5.3 million, projected 5.5, year-to-date 31 million, projected 29. And their expense, you can see, 5.7 million, projected 5.4, year-to-date actual 29.7 and projected 28.2. Here's what I wanted to show you on the negative, on the net income. That is a direct relation to what I was just explaining on the TVA bill that we pay based on the peak and what the usage is. In addition to that number, there were three pay periods in the month of December that will skew that. I think we've had this discussion before. It skews that number. In addition to that, where we have vacation overages for employees. If an employee has an overage, they are given an opportunity. If they don't use it, it's not a use it or lose it. Those are paid out mostly in the month of December. There are some that are paid out in November. Those mostly hit in November. And there were some holidays that hit in that month too. So all of these affect this. Projected was a negative 19. Year-to-date actual is 1.3. So in the year-to-date, you can see that we're, kind of planning for these things. And then our cash and temporary investments at the end of December was $3.6 million on the electric side. A lot of these same things will carry over to the water financials as well, because not the revenue piece, but the holidays, the vacation overages, payouts, and those things will affect that. The water customers, you can see there's just a very slight increase on those, 10,586 last year to 10,708 this year. Sewer is almost perfectly flat. From last year to this year, it was down by one customer. So you can see that there's absolutely no growth in the sewer system. So it's pretty flat as far as the number of customers. And our water sales for the water, 64 million. Wastewater sale, almost 22 million. Compared to last year, you can see these are almost flat. So you can see that that's just right in line with the average for the year. And our total water revenue, 491,552, projected 506, year-to-date actual 3.2 million, and projected 3.2. So you can see those are very close in line. And our expenses, 557, projected 563, and so on. And then the net income, here again is where this shows up what I was just explaining, the negative 65 with the negative 56 projected. Year-to-date comes out to be pretty good.
For those of you, when you're dealing with water and wastewater, virtually no way to make a profit or keep from losing money in wastewater. It's a loss leader. The state requires that you manage these separately. But for reporting to the state considers the total revenue between water and wastewater when considering whether it is a profit or loss. You're not allowed to lose money as a utility. So the water system has to offset the losses in the wastewater system, that's the bottom line. Otherwise, the state would come in and, if the board did not make changes, come in and establish your rates for you. So we've been very close a few years on that. Some of that upgrades the system and some of the upgrades to the policies we've been able to place here, we've been able to keep it. Like several systems across the state, we've been able to keep the state off our back and off the back of our customers.
Thank you. And as you said, it operates on a very close margin especially in the wastewater, on the wastewater side. The actual revenue was 224,000, projected 229. Year-to-date actual was 1.4 million, projected 1.394. The expenses 264, projected 245, and that, from month to month, you can't help the things, what months they come in. You have equipment failures and things that you have to address. Year-to-date actual on expense 1.4 million, and that was almost flat on the projected. Then the net income into the negative 40. Here again, that touches every department with the holidays, the vacation payouts, and the third pay period. So this touches all departments, and it goes into that negative number. Projected negative 15,000, year-to-date actual negative 7.3, and projected, at least we're ahead of schedule at this point. So that is very good. And then our cash on hand and investments is $1.3 million. So that's really all I have on the financial piece. And that was all I had, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I was recently contacted by our attorney. Reed had made me aware and provided me with a copy of a grievance that had been filed by an employee against our general manager, possibly against some other members of peers that may be on the administrative staff. This grievance was broken in basically into two sections in general. One had to do with human resource questions, procedures, employee relationship type questions that had arisen. And the other section was on some areas that require us to collect some data, which I've had done today about one of our contractors, and to ask to prepare this and hand it over to our attorney, which if you all pass that down, I now will do. Put on there, read the chain of custody of this information, so. That's the general, that's the interaction, all of the information that we have regarding, one of our contractors. And you're aware of the situation and, that was in the grievance that we had. You may want to address the board and what should be done with this matter, since there were several, probably possibly five different Tennessee code annotated items that could be, might be, need to be addressed in your correspondence that you had, that you provided me. So I'll let you take it from there.
Just briefly, you're right, the grievance had two components. One would be dealing with personnel issues. The other one would be with other issues, which there's an allegation that some things weren't done correct. And so the personnel issues, I believe, will be dealt with by sections 301 and 309 of your personnel policy. And
What I propose to do there is for appoint a board member. Laura, I'd like you to work with me on this, so we would have two board members beside, another board member besides the chair, that would conduct the meetings and adhere to all the protocols necessary to do that first part.
you could discuss that with them, whatever you want to do. I don't know if you're going to get a lot of volunteers in that area, but the personnel policy does say you, as you know.
Yes.
And so that responsibility will fall on you, since it is involving the general manager. So, there's no timeline given. I would not suggest on sitting on it, but he will do some background investigation, and we're talking about the personnel issue at this point. And then he will probably report back to the board in some capacity with a recommendation. So that's how that's going to go. You can either do a special call meeting and set it that way if you do want to do it on a separate meeting date, or if you want to do it at the next workshop for the March workshop.
The grievance deeds probably dealt with as a whole, once both components are completed there. And should one be reported back before the other, or should they be reported back as a?
Whatever you
Okay,
think, it's your discretion.
Then we can deal with the HR stuff first.
I would.
The other stuff I think will take longer.
That's what I would do.
Laura, will you help me on this one? As another set of eyes and ears as I conduct these meetings?
My only reservation to that is I am
If you have reservations, then please don't do it. I'll do this by myself.
I would be okay with that.
I'm sorry?
I said I would be okay with that.
Me doing it by myself?
Yep.
Okay. I just thought it might be better to have some more board participation, but that's fine.
Any of you have any questions about the process or anything? Because that's about all we know at this point, is the process.
What will you do with the paperwork that's supposed to be provided?
Here, well, we'll look at it and see, compare it to what's into the grievance itself. I'll probably have questions after that, and you and I both will probably have questions after it. We'll have to deal with administration and just compare to what's alleged and go from there. But I think this one could potentially take longer than the personnel issue.
I would think so. Okay, so I'll try to get started on this later in the week. I've got several appointments coming up. It's going to time me up this week earlier. I may be toward the latter part, be able to get some stuff done on it. The middle to the end of next week, I can get some stuff done on it. I will probably be out of town Nashville Monday and Tuesday. Is that next week? Okay. But I would like to be in a position to get back to the board on the HR stuff by our next meeting.
Bring it up.
I would hope that would be satisfying to all parties. That's about as quick I think it can be done. But I'm gonna need to talk to a whole lot of different people.
At some point before tomorrow,
Okay.
however you want to handle that. Or not, out there. That's your discretion.
Well, it's not my discretion, so I mean, let's hand that to the
That works.
chairman. Hand that to Jay.
That is your decision.
Okay.
I can understand that, but that's not part of this grievance, as far as restructuring that. That's a decision you as a manager needs to make, and please do so, at your discretion. Who's reporting to who, and here, our change to that, immediate change is not a part of the request, that's why I need a grievance.
I want to be very clear in what I'm about to say, and very professional. So given the history, the current grievance that's out there, and threatening behavior, I do not believe it is appropriate or safe for me to have a working relationship with him going forward, Mr. Griffith going forward. I'm not asking the board to shortcut anything. I'm just asking the board to assist me in setting a structure that ensures that LUB continues operating smoothly, that we minimize disruption, and that it protects everybody involved until an investigation is done. And for my protection, I want you to know, I will not communicate with Mr. Griffith in any form. I will not talk to him on the phone. I will have zero communication with him. So I want that stated because I feel threatened. That is my statement to you, and I want that part noted.
How do you intend on structuring a communication to a third party?
We can do that. You know, then we have an issue at hand with the direct supervisor that needs to be addressed as well. I don't mind handling that. However, I don't want that added to a list of grievances.
Well, we can't control that. We can say, I could say that you're causing your behavior because you're on manager to make those assignments. If you so choose.
I just want it stated and on the record that to make a change because it affects a direct supervisor, that when I make that change, at least temporarily, I want it to be known, not to be, that this is not an additional part of the grievance.
Reasonable, under conditions, for both sides. I mean, obviously there's a breakdown, in communications, and you know, a cooling off period here while we dig into this thing and do our due diligence. I do my due diligence on it, and I appreciate that type of cooperation for both sides, because I'm gonna be there doing it fair for both sides. I'm gonna talk to interview people. I'm gonna be interviewing people in all the departments of this organization at different levels, in confidentiality, and come up with the best determination and results I can doing so, in fairness to everybody involved. So it's a clean slate as far as I'm concerned for everybody, and we're gonna go into it in a fair and equitable manner.
Jay, she mentioned my name, may I?
I'm sorry.
She mentioned my name, may I speak? She mentioned my name 3 times,
You may
Mayor.
speak.
Most of you all know me. I know most of y'all's family members and things. That was the whole reason that I brought it to the board, and I'm so disappointed tonight. How can I do a grievance to HR? No. How can I do a grievance? No, I won't mention nobody's name. How can I do a grievance to the general manager? Policy says to come to the board. So if I come to the board and you're letting her say this, my protection is through, hold it, Jay. My protection is through you all that it should stop right now. No retribution. I don't talk to her anyway. And the person that she's talking about, I've never checked up. You can ask him. I go in, do my thing, and I leave. I've stayed professional the whole time. There's no hatred in there. And let me add, if there's a family member here that is upset with me because, and they rightfully so should be upset with me, take me into account. I've got a family member. Listen, if you all would let me tell the story, even he would be upset of what they done to my family member. So I ask that anybody that gets mad of what I'm doing, they got a right to be mad of it's their family member, but I want them to swap it around and ask what brought us here. So I asked again, with all due respect, you all can't let this happen. I don't want any bad thing to happen, no further. I hope you can work it out. But if you all let her do this, it voided everything that I've done, thinking that I was gonna be protected by coming to you all. If she can do this, listen, I've been associated 40 years. If I were to say to you, Jay, right now, Ms. Walker, Mr. Brown, Monica, Laura, Joe, Reed, you see these suckers right here? They ain't just my cousin, we're brothers. And listen, if you all would go by that I put in there, and put in what I'm asking you to do, don't let this happen. It would be very expensive, don't let this happen. But if you would honor that one thing I put in there, Mr. Wilby, put out a piece of paper, legal, noted, you will not have what is getting ready to happen. And it's gonna cost. It may be down the line, but it's gonna cost. Put out on the paper, legal, there will be no retribution at all till we get this lined out. This place would have been packed. They're scared, Miss Walker. I'm not. I'm nervous right now. My brothers, they're professionals at it. They talk all day, sing all day. I never could get up in a crowd. But I'm doing this for these young suckers. And like I said, I could pack this place. I would turn around and get an amen, but they'd be afraid to say it. But it would be packed. So please, Jay, Laura, if you just let this happen.
This meeting's over. When we go into our meeting, and this comes up in our meeting where official action can be taken on, I can assure you, this board is going to make there will be a motion made and passed to this board. There will be no retribution to any employee in this organization as a result of any of the activities going on as a result of this.
Jay, with all due respect, it's getting ready to happen. I don't fear her, but
There's
it's
no
getting...
retribution went on there. There was a direct correlation between communication, or lack of communication that exists, that she feels intimidated. You may also feel that way from the record that you provided me, that there's retribution and you feel that ganging up, some other things going on. That's not going to happen. I'm not going to let it happen.
Okay.
It will not
I'll
happen.
take your word.
Yeah, my word, I can see a need possibly for some restructuring of communication in the interim.
Since she went in July 29th, 2024, I bet I've not talked to her 10 times. I'm not saying it as a negative, but my communication's not with her. It's with my supervisor, and it's still maintained.
You have a triangle going on there. There's a triangle of responsibility going on there with the general manager, you, and the gentleman you report to, and that's at the crest of all this, or a good portion of these allegations, and if we can neutralize all that for a period of time while this investigation goes on, then I think it's for the best of all.
Thank you.
and there will be no retribution.
That's good for
I
me.
think
Thank
I
you.
hope you know me.
Yes,
well
sir, I
enough to
do.
know
I do. Thank you.
I don't have anything else.
that. So you can proceed with the protocols you need to put in place there, and keep me advised of it if you would, please.
All right.
You got anything else?
I don't have anything else.
You all need to take a break or anything for a minute?
Good.
Hey
Okay.
Jay, I'll make a comment. I didn't even know what kind of meeting this was tonight, so but that ain't what I'm here for. I'm here to tell the LaFollette Utilities, all of you, I appreciate Ms. Walker, it's great to see you. Hadn't seen you, Joe, all of you guys. See a lot of friendly faces here that I haven't seen in a long time. But I just do want to say that I'm very grateful to LaFollette Utilities for being such a entity to the city of LaFollette and Campbell County as a whole. And I just want to say I appreciate your hard work, your dedication, your time, your life that you put on the line every time you're out there, especially with this treacherous weather and everything. And thank you so much for working with the city of LaFollette as a whole and as a team. And I'm forever grateful to you all. I felt like it was God's will for me to come in here and tell you all that. I feel like a responsibility of a mayor that you all needed to hear that from me personally. For that said, I appreciate all of you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
And certainly on behalf of the board, we echo those sentiments. What you guys do is above and beyond the call of duty on many days, and we're all aware of that. And that's why these things concern us. We're going to make sure that our employees and our management team are pulling together, working together in a way that benefits all, including the community. So, and thank you for being here. Come more often. Don't come just when there's something going on that's got your interest.
Oh, believe me, I didn't have any
Oh, we
idea.
were going to meet you.
Not at all. I was so happy to see everybody when I got here, and I still am happy. So it's great to see a lot of these faces I haven't seen in a
We're
long
initially
time.
going to meet to impeach you, but I guess.
That's okay. They'll vote me probably right back in, Mr. Willoughby.
All right, let's,
Ready to do your recording?
get everything turned on, ready to go. Call to order the regular monthly meeting of the LaFollette Utilities Board. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Brown?
Yes. Here.
Mr. Burge? Here. Mr. Snow? Here. Mr. Walker? Here. Mr. Willoughby?
Here. Got the wrong agenda. Okay, we had one change to the agenda that we'll put, I guess down under other business, and that's the grievance process. Do I have a motion to approve that change to the agenda?
I make the motion.
Have a motion and second. Any questions? If not, all in favor?
Well, consider that number 9 on the agenda.
Yes. Make it 8A.
Just
All right.
tie in with the 8.
Oh, okay. We have a whole bunch of visitors. I'll recognize you as a group. Thank you again for being here, and please come back anytime. Some of the faces here are prettier than others. We're happy to have you all back at all times. And welcome, public comment. We've had some comments made in the workshop. Is there any additional comments from the minutes?
We skipped number 3. We need to vote on the agenda.
We did not vote on the agenda. Excuse me, I'm old. All in favor of approving the change in agenda to inserting the grievances at item 8A, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign, motion carries. Changes approved. Procedure package. Are there any additions, changes, or any other questions about the agenda, about the minutes? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes as presented. Have a motion, do I have a second? Have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor, signify please by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Financial report was presented in the workshop. Are there any additional questions or comments about the financials from the board? If not, I'll consider a motion to approve the financials as have been presented in the workshop.
Motion.
Have a motion? A second?
Second.
Have a motion, a second? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Brown?
Yay.
Ms. Burbidge? Yes. Mr. Snoddy?
Yes.
Ms. Walker, yes. Mr. Welley?
Yes. Other business. Is there any other business besides the insertion I'd ask to be included?
Yes, we will be closed on February 16th for a holiday, and February 23rd will be our normal meeting date. I know it'll be a short month, so I can tell you financials won't be ready prior to the meeting, but February 23rd is our next board meeting date.
Under other business, I have been presented a copy of a grievance by an employee that involves a number of our management and administrative staff. I will be conducting inquiries into that allegations in the grievance. From the human resource side, I have had prepared today copies of all work orders and information pertaining to a certain contractor, a particular contractor that was questioned, that had been questioned in said grievance. I have now provided those to our attorney, since there are sections in it that go beyond the human resource questions, and ask him to conduct an inquiry into that information that I provided to determine how best to proceed with it. I will ask this board, since I can't make the motion as chairman, I would ask this board to support comments I made earlier in the workshop that there would be no retribution against any employees in this utility, or any inquiries, as I follow the protocols all established for going by and determining and addressing each of the points that are to validate them or disvalidate them that's in this complaint. I would like our employees to feel sure and be reassured that if there's any form of retribution that comes up, if a retribution comes up, it will be dealt with swiftly. Fair enough, everybody?
I make a motion.
I have a motion by Mr. Nolly. Laura seconded it. All right, I want to do a roll call vote on this one.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mrs. Burbidge? Yes. Mr. Snoddy?
Yes.
Mr. Walker, yes. Mr. Welley?
Yes. Manager comments?
I don't have anything, thank you.
Okay. Any other board comments, or any board comments, excuse me, besides me talking? Mr. Attorney, any comments?
Just wanted to say, we wrapped up the property acquisition that we talked about last month. We did not have to file any type of a lawsuit. He came in and Regina and I had a settlement conference with him, and we were able to get it done. We've closed on it and we've recorded the deed. We own it, so we'll be ready for construction.
That's a great result for all parties.
It was,
involved.
yeah, it was good.
Very
It
nice.
ended up good. Everybody was happy.
Evidence so on
Yeah.
that first number.
Yeah,
Announcements, I guess, there is a conference next week in Nashville. I think some of you may have signed up to attend, so don't forget about it. That's all I would have to say. I would entertain a motion to adjourn if there's no more business come forward.
Second.
Who made the motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Okay. Have a motion second. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Board stands adjourned. Thank you, and thank everybody coming tonight.